Good morning. It's Bob here. I've been asked a couple of times now to try and give a diagram of my layout. It's a little difficult, but also I've been asked some of my construction methods. So I'm going to show some of my construction methods because I'm right in the process now of bringing up another level here from the third level up to the fourth, which I've really wanted to do. So I'm going to reverse and show you the layout. So here we are. So I've used numerous methods to support my track, from basically just the platform at the bottom here, platform all the way around, built on plywood and 2x3s as support legs. Then, as I decided I would build a second level, I was able to, at the time, use the trestle supports from Lionel to start to raise up to a second level. So this is the track that starts up from the second level, that goes up and becomes the second level over here. So by the time it gets into there, it's up at 6 inches. So that's roughly 8 feet, 9 feet of rise. Of 6-inch rise and about 8 feet, 10 feet. What is it? It's close to 9 feet. 6-inch rise and 9 feet. So then I built, once I got up here, I didn't have the trestles to continue on, and there's no really room for trestles. So I've used a multitude of different supports, which I have, to tell you the truth, salvaged from the garbage at a shopping center, believe it or not. These are metal rods from hangers on the in the shopping center stores that go in the garbage. They're metal rods mostly. Some are, well, you can see one there's a 1/4 inch. The other one looks like it's 1/2 inch. This one here looks like it's 3/4. These are hanger rods from the clothes hangers in the shopping center, most portable racks. Some of them I've used are pretty thin. You can see that one's pretty thin. Up here, it's really a thin one. That's like 1/8 of an inch. But it's supported on the back by brackets, metal brackets. See that metal bracket in there? I don't know what that is. I just found it, and I found a whole bunch of them. So they are mounted on the wall and then support pieces of wood that I've also salvaged. So I do a lot of dumpster diving. And most of this layout is from salvaged pieces of wood and metal and brackets. So there's a dowel. That is a dowel. So I find dowels are very, very useful. They support a lot. They're straight. They're probably made from oak, so they're good and strong. Also, there's another piece of wood that supports two together. It's glued onto the back one and then glued onto the front one and screwed. So I do a lot of gluing. And then once the glue is dry, I will put a screw through that board up into the track board on the top. You can see in most cases, there's a single rod supporting it's like a T. But when an opportunity presents itself, I do use the Lionel trestles. They're really good. You can see that whole line comes up nice and smooth. You can do a really smooth job with the trestles. Start out the smallest one and then raise it up, and it raises it up at a good rate. Lionel has obviously designed these so you can use them and your train will come up at that rate of climb. So also here I found a piece of square metal. I think I'm going to replace that one. I don't like the look of it, but it's another piece of square tubing I've used to support because now you've run out of height of trestles. These is as high as they go. So you have to find something else. And there's another piece of wood straight up, glued. And then there's one I made here. I'm not too happy with it. It's just, it's going to be there, but I'm going to refine it a little bit, make it look nicer. So that's one's glued to the floor, or glued to the, well, the shelf down there, the next level up. And then here is where I'm bringing it up to the top level. So today this is a piece of wood underneath. Right here it gets very solid. This is a very solid bracket. This is solid. And I glue these. I use Insta-Glue. Here it is here. That's what I use. That's the activator. And there's the bottle of Insta-Glue. This stuff is amazing. Truly, truly amazing. I couldn't build as fast as I do without that, nor could I do some of the intricate gluing. This plastic here is just a plastic strip that I found, and it's glued on. It's glued on. It's a little loose right here. You can see it move. But it's also glued on. So on that back wall there where I have my Union Pacific or Pacific Fruit Express cars, that shelf is also supported by one of those brackets screwed to the wall. And supporting, it's actually just a piece. It's a piece. These are pieces of plywood or wood that I have salvaged. Mostly they're 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch plywood or good solid pieces of shelving, pine shelving. There's some pine shelving I've used. I've used a multitude of different pieces of wood. In the end, I'll try and paint the edges and make them all look the same, or cover them with a plastic like that. Then it all looks the same. My lighting, as you can see, it's all over the place right here now. It's just a rope light. It's a 120 volt rope light you plug in and hide behind try and hide it behind something so that you don't see it when you're looking at the layout. It just produces light that shines up the layout. So this is the track that's going to come up here. You can see how wide that support. And there's a glue joint right there. Try to refine and make it a little nicer. There's another glue joint, just butted glue joints. I know, doesn't sound strong, But underneath, I will put, right here, I will put a piece of metal across with screws in it and support those two pieces together. Works pretty good all the time. I've done it many. All this shelving here is basically supported by doweling. You can see a dowel in there. That post is a dowel. There's a metal rod back there. It's supported on the wall. You can't see. And this level here, all of this here, is supported by metal rods. And brackets that I've manufactured out of different pieces of. Well, there's another metal rod, and that's basically your steel rods from shopping center garbage, where they're starting to throw out the racks that hold the clothes on them. I bring the long rack rod home, probably about 5 feet long, and then I just cut it to the length I need. And there I have them all over the place. That's basically what supports my second level. And there's a smaller one you can see underneath there, right here. That thing there. That's just a 1/4 inch piece of steel rod. And I have them supporting that 4th level as well. So there's another rod there, and one over there, one over there, one over there. It looks like they're a little crooked here. I'll straighten them up eventually. And then I found some U-shaped bracketing. I don't know where it came from, but I found it in the garbage. There are U-shaped brackets underneath there. You can see, and it supports the 3rd, the 4th level. There's one there. It's a little crooked. And then there's 1/2 inch wood here. And then way across here, there's a piece of pine. And just some, looks like 3/8 by 1/2 inch square timber. One here, one here. Then there is a dowel over here, painted and added a support to it underneath there. In cases where I was able to, of course, then I used the trestles. And you can see they're all trestles under there. So I hope that helped. Then out here, of course, I have some more of that steel rod and a doweling, another doweling down there. And in here are the 1/4 inch pieces of steel rod. Nothing fancy, just glued in place, most of them, with that glue. That glue is amazing. Move over around. see a multitude of the same rods. Oh, they're gates. Put the gates down. Here's another one. And some of these are a little crooked. I'll have to, like I said, straighten them up. But right now they're okay. They support well. Everything is well supported. It doesn't... I put some really good strong ones on the bottom. This is 1/2 3/4 inch steel with, again, some pieces of wood. There's some of the doweling I was going to use. Just ordinary. You can buy the doweling any place if you want. I'm sure Home Depot has it. It works well because it's good quality, strong stuff. One thing I do like to do is try and make sure my supports on the bottom are sort of in line, or the ones on the top are sort of in line with the supports on the bottom, because we don't need any kind of catastrophic engineering. This top level, although it doesn't look like it's well, it's very good. It's very solid. Moves not much, and it's all connected together with brackets fastened to this wall down there. Brackets are all the walls have brackets on them that support. I don't know if you can see that bracket down there or not. I painted some of them to match the wall in the back. So basically my layout started out as a dog bone against the wall, and then extended it to the end wall. So I'll start out here with a dog bone here, down here, one end, down the wall, around the end now, and then built into the center. So it's 12 feet wide by 18 feet at the other end where the dog bone starts. And over on the far side over there is where I started to come up with, I showed you earlier. That was the first track to the second level. Second level is supported, and then started to rise here. So they would go to the third level. So this is a big corner. You can see how much higher it is than 6 inches. It's like 12 inches almost. And it's a big corner, 0.54 at least. So it goes around. That's one of the trickiest corners I had to make, because when you're pulling a big train up, it has to rise properly and go around with a large corner. So that's why it's like it is. So this brings me up then to the third level, which goes over underneath those red cars, underneath the red CP cars there in the Santa Fe. It circles around. Come over here, and there's where this joins, where the track coming up here joins over here, I have a switch in there, 072 right-hand switch, a left-hand switch. And then over here, I have an 072 Lionel right-hand switch. and it divides the track here. The track goes around the back. It comes over here, and I have another 072 switch in there that divides the back track against the wall into a siding for the Southern Pacific here. Well, that's the outside track. The inside track here gets divided again, and this is a Ross switch here, 072 Ross switch. And it divides the track into a siding, which I was using for another longer train earlier. I'll put it back. Also, a little past this switch is a left-hand switch. So they're right pretty close together, those two switches. Non-derailing. And this switch now is leading me up into my fourth level. So I'm coming up here. There's a car off the track in there somewhere. There we are. This track is now going to be my fourth level riser. I was showing you that at the beginning of this video. Now coming up here, you can see the wood. It's actually two pieces of wood glued together, and then each one is cut to short lengths and glued together and supported. So I'm up here. This is loose right now, but that's where I'm going to work on today, and go from here, try and get it up and into the top track over here. I have a switch for that corner, so it should hopefully be all right. I did use a laser level to level the top so that it would. So that whole top track, the fourth level with the Canadian Pacific up there, and then the Berkshire over there. So it's quite a little bit of a complicated layout, I guess, but it just sort of evolved into what it is today. Hope that helps some of you guys. Anyway, I'll answer as many questions as I can and help you as much as I can. And just to let you know, I do use all kinds of track. This is fast track. This is old fast track. This I bought back when it first came out. So when fast track first came out 20 years ago, it's still good. Doesn't give me any issues at all. Put it together and it's good. I love as you can see, tubular. Tubular is really good. But I also like Gargraves. So I mix them all. I mix the Gargraves switches with the Lionel switches with Lionel Fast Track, and then on the other side I'll bring out the Gargraves track from one side of the switch. Here I've got Lionel tubular into Lionel Fast Track. Same thing here. They make the parts for them. They make the proper connectors. If you don't have any, make them yourself. File down one side of the Lionel pin. And you can actually see that I have tubular joined to Fast Track right there on the bridge. Over here it's tubular, but it's not connected to each other. I have a connection in here. So from the track out here, no connection here. but this is connection in there. So this track is live from being wired. That's all. It does carry the connection through here, down here. That carries the connection through right there. And here's a fast track bridge. Well, it's got a fast track bridge on one, fast track on one side, fast track switch on the other side, and then right in the middle I have a piece of Gargraves. And it too is wired. So all the bridges are connected to the track by wiring, so that I don't have any worries about the connection at that point. I hope that helps some of you guys and gals. Thank you very much for watching. Take care now. Bye now.